Thank you very much for joining us here on TRT World. Of course, there are claims that the Belarusian military is taking active part in Russian attacks on Ukraine. Tell me, to what extent do you think Belarusian military is taking part in Russia's so-called military operation?
It's evident that Belarusian soil is used by Russian troops to invade Ukraine, but as far as I know, Belarusian army is not participating in this war at the moment, but who knows what will be the next step of illegitimate regime in Belarus, and maybe our soldiers could be sent to fight against Ukrainians. And now we are trying to communicate with army, with soldiers, persuading them not to do this because they are going for death and they can betray Belarusian land. They are defending our country, but not, but don't have to be aggressors towards other one.
Ms. Tsikhanouskaya, I just want to make sure that I get this right. Are you saying that the Belarusian military, according to you, is not taking part in Russia's attacks on Ukraine?
Yes, according to our information, Belarusian army is not participating in the invasion of Ukraine, but our airports, our railway infrastructure is used for transporting Russian military equipment.
In one of your latest interviews to The Guardian, you said along the lines that President Putin wants to put the blood of Ukrainians on the hands of Belarusian soldiers. Tell me, why do you think President Putin would do that?
Because he wants to drag Belarus, he wants Belarusians to share responsibility for this act of aggression. He wants Lukashenko not to stay with clean hands in this war, just to, as I said, to share responsibility. He wants to quarrel Belarusians and Ukrainians, and we already see how attitude towards Belarusian is changing in other countries. We are facing this unfair attitude to people that for a year and a half are fighting against dictatorship. So it's so important to distinguish Belarusian regime and Belarusian people.
Okay, then tell me, what do you think the Belarusian people think about Russia's attacks on Ukraine?
In contrast to the regime, Belarusians stands with Ukraine and don't support this war. Only 11% of people believe Belarus soldiers must join Russian army. Meanwhile, many go to Ukraine to fight on Ukrainian side. And we are proud of them, of course, and call on other volunteers to join. Many Belarusians also help refugees from Ukraine. And 1 week ago, up to 100,000 people protest against war in Belarus. The resistance takes many forms at the moment. Our partisans block roads and disrupt the Belarus railway system so that trains and military vehicles cannot be moved. They report on the movement of military vehicles, on the launching of warplanes and missiles, organize huge cyber attacks. We also know that many officers of Belarus regular army opposed the Belarus participation in war and refused to cross the border.
Now, Russia has been subjected to sanctions by much of the West. There are growing calls among the international community to do the same with Belarus. What are your thoughts on that? Do you support sanctions against Belarus?
I support sanctions against Belarusian regime. It's necessary to understand that without sanctioning of Lukashenko's regime, Belarus can become a huge loophole for Russian oligarchs to continue trade with sanctioned products through Belarusian campaigns.
All right, Ms. Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya, thank you very much for taking out the time to talk to us here on TRT World. Really appreciate it.